First of all, look at you two with the matching ties. I love that you guys are doing this. I can't remember the last time I had members of, mixed party on in the House. Bravo to you. Good for you for doing this. Thank you for doing this. What is the chance that you get any traction? Brian, I'll start with you.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for having us. So we're not going to take anything or leave anything to chance. We filed a discharge petition last Friday that has now put this on a timetable to be considered full floor consideration, beginning with next week when we'll have a petition at the desk, and if 218 of our colleagues will get on board. It's a bipartisan bill. It's the only two-party solution in the House right now on time-sensitive existential problems. Number one, our border. Number two, Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan's border, to provide them with the assistance they need.
So, Jared, pushback, obviously. Why put Ukraine in it? That's going to get done anyway, and it can be used as a poison pill on the border because it gives people a reason to resist. Why not just stick with our border in this bill? And please also tell me, how is this different than what we saw in the Senate bill?
Sure, Chris. The first thing I would say is push back a little that the Ukraine assistance is definitely going to happen. I think that's questionable. And Brian and I think it's really important. We are talking about how, for democracies, protecting borders is absolutely essential. Whether it is our border in the crisis going on, whether it's the high volume of people coming across the border, but also the fentanyl crisis. Right? And the Mexican cartels take advantage of that situation so that they can get away with what they're doing to make money at the expense of American lives. But for other democracies around the world, when their borders get invaded through a military invasion like Russia's of Ukraine, it puts democracies, basically on notice. And as we've seen in the past, Chris, when European wars break out, unfortunately, try as we might, it can be very difficult for America to stay out of them. So
yeah, it gets
I think that
fast.
the Ukraine issue is important,
Jared.
and hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about that.
I don't disagree. I'm with you, and you guys are invited to come back on to make the case. I'm just saying, look, I thought it served as a poison bill on the Senate side. It gave all the anti-Ukraine guys in Brian's party, a chance to say, this is a non-starter for me. But you guys do what you think is right. On the border aspect, Jared and Brian, fill in where you want. What do you do that I haven't seen in the Senate bill? Like, what is new? What is different?
Yeah, you were talking a lot about executive powers and what President Biden could do. And you were referring a little bit to Remain in Mexico. A lot of people associate this with the Trump administration, but it was Congress that put Remain in Mexico into the INA back in 1996. And so this is a congressional policy. Now, when we did that, we made it discretionary for the executive to decide whether or not to use that power. And so Biden is within his rights not to do it. I think that's the wrong call, and so do you. And so do, I think, a lot of Americans. Our bill would make that mandatory for up to 1 year. Now, it's also lost on a lot of people that expulsion authority, what we used to call Title 42, that depended on the existence of a COVID-19 public health emergency that Congress voted to end last year with a lot of Republican support and Democratic support. I voted for that. So it's incumbent upon Congress to act to give that authority back to the Border Patrol. And so these are the two things that our bill does. It's very simple. We put these two policies back into place, and we are focused on border control here. We're not talking about immigration reform. We're not talking about what is broken about the asylum process and the loophole that's being used. We're talking about establishing control of the border with these two policies, and it's Congress's responsibility. We can't sit back and wait on any president to take action.
And Chris, just to add to that, the death knell of every immigration bill the death knell of every immigration bill in our lifetimes was that they went too broad, and somebody found a poison pill and a reason to take it down. What we're doing, it's limited to two policies. That's it. And they're policies that both administrations, multiple administrations from both parties, have employed to great success. It's Title 42, obviously in our case without the public health requirement, and the Migrant Protection Protocol, also known as Remain in Mexico, which, as Jared had pointed out, was a 1996 law that Congress passed, but Congress made it discretionary and not compulsory. So we make it compulsory. We change the mays to shalls in every instance in the bill to make sure that it's required that the administration enforce that law.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.